I want to talk to you about the good that causes evil, or it's called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which is really the good that causes evil, the good that is evil, evil good. All right, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the actual translation is not a tree that Adam was commanded not to eat of, because the Adam is one man, and it actually is in the reverse. It's the other people, the Ha'adamah and the Elohim, which is not the difference from Elohim and Elohim. Those are leaders of nations and groups that basically they can be for Yehovah, but what so often happens and what has happened now is that they're against Yehovah and bring cursing and destruction on the earth and themselves and all their nations and everybody involved in that tree, that collection of energy. So I want to talk to you about evil. What evil is. Does God allow evil? And evil can be one of two things, because we have to define evil. And in the dictionary, evil is either morally wrong or bad. Yes. And who defines morals? Yehovah. It's based on the Torah, strictly. Okay. A lot of people their morals are evil. Their good is evil. So, and then there's another kind of evil in the dictionary, which is anything that's harmful or whatever. And indeed, the Lord does cause evil to those who go against it or deviate from his Torah, the laws of existence. You jump off a building, you're going to fall to the ground. It's evil. It's just, that's wrong. And then, while I'm talking about this, I'm going to clear up two things with Ruth and Boaz and David, both in my lineage. I am of the lineage of David. Let's talk about Ruth and Boaz. Now, Ruth was a Moabitess, and it's against the law for a Jew a Moabite cannot come to the house of the Lord, can't go into Judaism, right? Or Amalek either. And because they did not, when Israel was going through, they didn't give them food, or, they asked to pass through and they didn't let them pass through. Now, if we read that in the law, in the original Hebrew, I mean, this is very important that you read in the original Hebrew. I have a lot of stuff on my site, but people need to get into it and read themselves and get away from this fake Hebrew, which the Christians put forth. And a lot of times I show on my site now, they put forth one thing and it's really another thing. So the law says it's a Moabite, and that does not include Moabitess, a woman, because it was the men who were in charge and stuff, who didn't let them pass through and didn't feed them. Shut up, Christy Cat. And I swear that cat. You're gonna watch how I discipline my cat. You're lucky you're lucky on my video right now. So think about that. It was the men, and so the women are absolved from that. And but actually, in the Hebrew, it refers, it's a male, a Moabite. That's why it says. I'm not going to get into that because that's a rabbit trail. So, Boaz did not violate the law when he married Ruth. Okay, a Jewish man, a man of the Torah, a real Jew, is allowed to marry any woman he wants. Case in point, the captive wife. Hey, once he had sex with her, she was, even if they got divorced, she was basically a Jewish person from then on. And there's other posts on my site about that kind of thing. So that sets up the false premise that yes, God uses violating his own law, and God violates his own law, and hey, David even violated the law, and he was a great man. No, he didn't, and that's my next point. But so Ruth was a Moabitess, a female, and she was not under that law. Okay. End of story. So, and Ruth and Boaz comes, that is directly in the lineage of David, which really means support and support services and satisfy needs, is what David means. Now, Uriah the Hittite, Bathsheba, and David. Now, when Uriah the Hittite came back, David called him back, and he said, Uriah, go home and sleep with your wife. David is the king. Uriah said no. He disobeyed a direct command of the king, which is a death penalty. And the king can pretty much anybody he wants for any reason. And that goes into with Mishli, which is the real meaning of Proverbs, which is continually who you should remove, and those that deviate from the Torah. Anyway, so he told him several times. He commanded him several times, and he said no. He disobeyed direct order of the king. He was subject to a death penalty. David was smart enough to know that if he took him and executed him in one way, then there would be a whatever. So he just did that. So David and Bathsheba, that's okay. Now the translation of all that went on is another thing, and I don't want to go on that rabbit trail either. But neither of those two people violated the law. Okay, Boaz did not violate the law by marrying Ruth, and David did not violate the law by killing Uriah the Hittite. Now I want to talk to you about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which is really the knowledge of good that causes evil. It's a collection of energy. And what it has to do with is going against the one high Adam and Hadath, which is consuming his time, stretching his time in regards to either his wealth or his woman. Like saying, oh, we're going to do good. We're going to get the very best woman for the high Adam. So it's going to take all this time, and we're going to do it. They're consuming his time. They're supposed to give him the woman that he demands immediately. Period. They're supposed to pay him lots of wealth immediately. And by not doing so, they are ha'adat. 2:17. Ume'etz ha'da'ath tawara lo toakal mimenu ki bahyom ikauka mimenu mutamuth. So in the day that if there's even one instance of them hadath and doing evil because they're disguised themselves as doing good, we're gonna fulfill the law, but we're gonna do it this way, and it's gonna consume time. It's really stretching, consuming time. Time's the important issue here. Any time without the Adam, without a woman in his bed, and lots of money. I mean, extreme amounts of money. That is consuming time. That is mutamuth. Muth, it's a dead soul. The soul is killed. No more coming to, you don't go to heaven, you don't go to hell and burn. Last time in existence, that's it. Tamuth, physical body. Death comes to the physical body. So those are the two things about David and Bathsheba and Boaz and Ruth. Now, evil is very useful to Elohim and Yahweh Elohim. And so also there's a kind of evil that's good and evil. It's the yin yang, and that's a whole system of evil. It has good in it, but it's evil. The whole thing's evil. Even the good is evil. But the evil, you have to think about it this way. A child is not rewarded for not sticking his heart, for not jumping in the fire, right? Because he's going to get burned up. There's no... So Satan doesn't work that way. It's more like he disguises it as something good, beneficial, and that's we're going to deviate from the Torah because it's beneficial. In Mishli, Proverbs, Aleph, I think it's Dalet. Okay, yes. Which is Mashli, really is Proverbs. The whole book is translated. It's just lies, a lie to cover up what's really there. Mashli is about emanating, removing continually, emanating the means of identifying God, and determining the role and character of things, people, and ruling by command. It's a very powerful book. The thing is, with things that are power, you can't say, well, we're going to translate it wrong because we don't want this power falling into enemy hands. Hey, if they do not do as required towards the one high Adam, and that thereby that's the only way to prove loyalty to Yehovah, then nothing they know or do or say can give them power. I haven't posted on True Witchcraft that is relevant, but they just can't have it. Existence itself, so that's not a concern. But Mashli Alpha Dalet says destroy the physical person that has a movement towards burning or really dividing and causing strain without rest because they want someone to fear an existing danger. They say, oh, this is going to be an danger. This is going to be a danger. So they get the person to stray from the Torah. Right? They get them, what? And they ask all the time, what's this? What's that? And then they get until it's all safe, this, if this, and that. And then they try to deviate, transgress from the Torah based on that. Movement to discard or shake off, striving at the Torah, which is transgressing or deviating from the Torah, which creation the condition of emanating, deviating from the Torah, and planning acts that deviate from the Torah. Those people are to be killed, destroyed, physically, not just their soul, physically. That is what Mashli Al-Doubt says. Proverbs 1:4. Book for the Kings. So that went by really fast. So, like I said, I wanted to stress this point. Okay, so if a child is left alone with, say, candy, and you say, don't eat the candy, and then the child has self-discipline and is obedient and doesn't eat the candy, then that child deserves a reward. Right? But you're not going to reward a child because, he didn't take a hammer and whack himself on the head or on the hand or smash himself or stick his arm in a fire, because the punishment of doing it is the punishment itself. That is Satan doesn't work that way. He works this other way. He's like, let's get people into fear and let's see how we can deviate from the Torah and get them off into some imaginary thing that could happen if God didn't make it so it couldn't happen. See, they assume that High Adam is just like them, and he's not. They have the evil inclination. They have this kind of thing. The High Adam doesn't have it. All right. Evil's not a temptation for him. It's just not, because Yahweh is living in him. Sometimes people may say he's doing this or he's doing that, but it's really not violating the Torah. But their knowledge of the Torah is so screwed up and wrong that they don't even know. So I want to defend my relatives, Boaz and Ruth and David. Right. David was a righteous person, and he was of such a high degree that the a lot of rabbis say, hey, if David had built the temple, then the temple would not have been destroyed because he was so righteous that what he did was really a permanent thing on the earth. And that's just what the rabbis say. So Boaz, Ruth, David, Uriah the Hittite, Bathsheba, evil. So we have evil that God, see, man has to overcome evil. But what they do is they do this evil and good, trying to deviate from the Torah, which is a fake evil and a fake good, which is the good that brings about evil. It is not the way Yahweh uses evil for those that oppose him. And so Yahweh doesn't use evil against the one high Adam. If there's any evil, even the smallest bit of evil, Yahweh does not use evil for good. He uses evil to destroy evil. He destroys evil with evil. Right? Because evil, the way it's defined by the English dictionary, is screwy. It's a mishmash. It's either this or it's that. Okay? If it's something that's immoral, then its morality is defined by Yahweh in the actual Torah and not the false translations and whatnot. So a perfect case in point would be David, right? Because what he did was moral, to kill Uriah the Hittite, believe it or not. But I'm not going to go into that and Samuel and him losing him a child and this and that, because I can guarantee you that is not what happened, and that is not the translation at all. Just like I can guarantee you that the book of Proverbs, probably less than 1% is an actual translation. Seriously. Proverbs, Mashli, which is determining the role and character of people and things and ruling by command. It's how to rule by command and determine the role and character of people. And it says something quite different. Like 3 is movement to raising up and rescuing movement of physical people, and transferring their divine limit and limiting their looking, seeing, and understanding in what should not be in existence, who are striving to attain what should not be in existence. Satisfying objective justice. It's how to stop, execute even people that are going against the Torah and bringing into being what should not be in existence. And that could be them doing evil in the name of good. They're all screwed up with what's good, evil, this and that, because if there's any evil in something, God doesn't use evil and then we're going to use the system with it to bring about good. If there's any evil in it, it's evil. Okay, that's over here in the right. He uses evil to destroy people, and we mean evil as far as harmful, destructive, not evil as in going against morality. And that's where evil gets divided into 2 words, really, and we need a better way to speak about it, because biblical evil is not the way people understand the word evil. Because penetrating the core. Yeah. 6 is about penetrating the core, determining the role and character of those emanating in existence. Anything people do, anything the leaders. And they cause pain and trouble. Because of restraining, they strain, hinder, and the people have been trying to restrain and hinder me, and they cause pain and trouble. I mean, trying to, put themselves above Yahweh's system of doing things, and who's the high Adam. And then they do this. Well, what could be? We're gonna do Safety Steve. What could happen if that evil son of a bitch, them, were as they were put in the office of High Adam, but not really the High Adam, right? They say, what could happen? And that's a screwy thing, because they are not the High Adam. They do not have Yahweh living in. They are not able to emanate and bust clouds. They do not have that sign of Yitrick, Terem Yitzmak. Those that cause pain and those that strive and struggle with the Torah, which has been going on for quite a while now. Started with Obama, actually before Obama, but started in the 80s, seriously. So when the United States has had 39 years, and now it's going to be destroyed completely, and it's going to get ugly. And, all they had to do was do two simple things. It was no big deal. But oh well. And by not doing those two simple things and going against them, they do not have loyalty to Yahweh, which is existence, the creating of the creator, continuing existence, creating the condition of existence, which is God for everybody. And I mean everybody. That means not just the people in this earth, but in the millions of habitable planets, whether they have life on them or not, or which they do. Jesus said, in my house are many mansions, which means, hey, in the universe, there are lots of habitable planets. And each planet has a atom on it that has habitable human-like, life. And these are the laws of all planets with atmospheres. This is the way it operates everywhere in existence. So that was a bit rambling, but there was a lot of meat there. So we went over Boaz and Ruth, David, Uriah, and Bathsheba, two kinds of evil, and how people use good that is evil. When they're saying, oh, what's the nature? What could happen? This bad can happen. If it is, this, if in doing so, they're getting people to stray or deviate from the Torah. You cannot deviate from the Torah, not even the smallest bit. Now, the problem is what people think as the Torah is not the Old Testament, is not the actual translation at all. Not even close. And there's no reason to make it the false translation other than to do idolatry and Satanism. I mean, you're not withholding power from them because they don't get any power, even if they have the correct translation, unless they are prove loyalty to Yehovah through the Ha'ana. Now, it's, the rabbis say that the Mashiach, the Messiah, will explain everything that's unknown, right? And then they have all these legal discussions and this, and say, well, the Mashiach will explain everything that's unknown, and it could be not just the Mashiach, but the Messiah, Moses, and Elijah. Well, here's a point of doctrine. In the Torah, the one Ha'adam, Moses was the one Ha'adam, Elijah was the one Ha'adam, and the Messiah, the Mashiach, is the one Ha'adam. In other words, Moses, Elijah, and Jesus, the real one, are the same person in different lifetimes. The one Ha'adam is called the time of visitation in the Bible. I think maybe Luke 9 said they did not recognize the time of visitation, but the time of visitation, it's also called the time of punishment, because when the Ha'adam comes back, and for the most part, people don't do as required, even though it's extremely simple to do. They find some reason to not do as required and ask the question, as in Mashli Aleph Dalet, what could happen? Causing fear of existing danger of what could happen, movement to discard or shake off the Torah. They're trying to shake off or discard the Torah. The one enthroned in heaven laughs when they say, hey, let's cast their cords from us. You're in existence, buddy. You're not going to exist anywhere outside of existence, and you can't just quarter off a wall around existence and say, this is my part of existence. No, it isn't. The Ha'adam rules existence. Well, Yehovah does. But Yehovah resides in the one Ha'adam, and he's the agent whereby people can prove. And that's, allegiance to Yehovah. But these people try to do it on their own, apart from Yehovah, and ended up opposing the one Ha'adam in Yehovah. So that's just a ramble. I'm writing stuff, so I work things out in my head when I do this kind of thing. So I'm working on my sleeve, but I'm doing it all on paper. See, but if an evil person even stole these papers and tried to read, they wouldn't understand it, and that's on my side too. People are deceptive. Holy matters, they're not understand holy matters, and it wouldn't do them any good, any power. So that takes the whole thing away of what if? You think the creator of existence hasn't accounted for every possibility? I mean, what arrogance? What insolence? Seriously. Come on, man.